Today on Wolfpack Weekdays College Life, I had to push everything back because they just announced that the Pokemon Go is going to have Generation 2 this week. Welcome back to Wolfpack Weekdays College Life, guys. Like I said, today is all about Pokemon Go again. Do you remember everybody in the Wolfpack when I did a bunch of videos like these three? The one that got like 59,000 views and thousands of views? Yeah, well, turns out I was right on one of those, this one to be specific, because they announced Generation 2, and there's a lot of things that I have to cover within that, because it's coming out this week, and I'm just going to go through basically the trailer and kind of talk about what they showed and didn't show, and then go through the information on the actual Pokemon Go website about what's going to be added for you guys. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to have a piece of paper just because there's a lot of things I got to cover. Ignore it. It probably isn't even in frame. But basically what's going to be happening is the trailer is going to be around here somewhere, just kind of small. I'm sure you guys have seen it. This is basically what it was. It was an open world. They basically said that there's going to be Pokemon added to it. They said, like, more Pokemon are available in the real world, basically. And then they started showing some of those Pokemon. The Pokemon they showed were Chikorita, Cyndaquil, Totodile, Hoot Hoot, Crobat, which is super important because of this video, and Hoppip, Skarmory, Donphan, Murkrow, and Marill. Those are the ones that were actually shown in the video. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about Crobat specifically is because in this video, which I'm going to link at the very end for the recommended video for you guys, is basically why you should have certain Pokemon in Generation 1, and you can still get these and get the candies for them while you can, because a lot of these Pokemon are going to get really good when Generation 2 drops, and Crobat is one of the causes, because Goldbat is, you know, he's decent, but when Crobat comes out, he's going to be a boss, just like Scyther and a bunch of others. So go check out that video, guys. But anyway, I digress. So they actually said that 80 total Pokemon are going to be added this week. That's awesome. It means that not only are we getting the Generation 2, but we're getting pretty much all of Generation 2. There's a lot that we're going to be missing. I assume we're going to not have some of the legendaries and off-legendaries and stuff like that. And some of them already been added, like Togepi and stuff. So there's a little bit of stuff that's already been released, but they're going to be releasing 80 total, which means we have all new things to do, which one of the biggest complaints I had with Pokemon Go, and the reason I stopped playing it as much, is because it just got repetitive after a while. I was waiting for Generation 2. We thought it was going to come out in December. Looks like it's coming out in February. So that's awesome. And one of the biggest things is that now that we're getting another set of starters, which are probably, I would say, 90% of the friends I have, their favorite starter is actually in Generation 2. And Generation 2 was my personal favorite game. I loved it, and I wish I had a copy of Soul Silver, but they're so expensive. Like, that's super exciting because I want a Cyndaquil, I want a Totodile, I want a Chikorita, I want to capture these Pokemon. It's made me want to play again, which is awesome. And that was even the tagline at the end of the video. It was, "The search continues." So that's really, really clever on them. I wish they would have done it faster, but, you know, get what you can get. Beggars can't be choosers. Now I'm going to go through the other stuff that was added. It's just about 5 different points of things that they're adding to the game at the same time that the Pokemon are going to be added. So obviously we're getting the 80, you know, Pokemon that are going to be added on, which is super fun, super exciting. I assume there's going to be a lot of people playing it once it kind of gets around that it's happening. And then they're adding gender variation to the Pokemon, which is good for actual breeding and all that stuff, which I assume they're going to add eventually. And then new evolutions, which I talked about once again in this video. I'm going to keep going back to that because I'm super happy this is actually happening, like I said. Then the wild Pokemon encounter is going to be different. So the actual gameplay of when you see a Pokemon isn't just going to be the throwing the balls. Apparently there's going to be a new system for the berries and stuff. And speaking of berries, there's going to be new berries added, which is super interesting to me because the 2 berries they're adding, they've already announced, is the Knob, I can never say this, so it's Knob, I think that's right, which is going to be able to slow down the Pokemon to make them easier to catch, and the Pin-App, which is going to give you bonus candy when you capture them. Now the Pin-App is the one I'm the most interested in, because the Raspberry already made it easier to capture. But the pin app is actually going to give you candy, which I was so excited about the walking thing because it allowed us to actually get candy for just walking around, which made it a lot easier to like evolve my Mankey into a primate. But the pin app is actually going to make it even easier to evolve things, which was one of my biggest complaints with the game. So they've kind of found a solution for it that still works within the gameplay itself, which is fun. I'm glad that they decided to do it that way, actually. I think it's probably the best way they could have done it. So pin apps are going to be the thing I go after the most. And the final thing they're adding is new avatar wardrobe pieces. So our avatars are going to be able to choose between different clothing again. I don't know if they're going to be at Pokestops or if you're going to have to like purchase them with in-game currency or outside of game currency. Like, there's no real clear path on it. That's all they gave us, is that, hey, there's going to be new stuff for you to like change your character up more, which is fun because it was very limited. But the one thing I want that they did not bring with this huge update is a chance to change my team. I still want to change from Valor to Instinct. I'd rather be Instinct. But what are you going to do? It's still a super awesome update. It's actually making Pokemon Go interesting for me again, which is super surprising because I thought it was dead. I literally was talking about this yesterday, which is super weird. I was in my editing class talking to somebody about it because he was battling in the gym at the school. Yeah, my school's a gym. It's awesome. But he was battling in the gym and he was talking about it. I was just kind of talking about like, well, they never brought us Generation 2 and they never brought us the training and the battling and stuff. And he was telling me that an update's coming that's trading and battling. So I'm actually going to look into that. But then all of a sudden I woke up at 6 o'clock today to go to class and there was an announcement 30 minutes ago. And it was the trailer. It was that Generation 2 is happening, and on the tagline it said, this week you're going to get a new update. So that's super exciting. Go capture yourself some Cyndaquils, some Totodiles, and some Chikorritas, and all the other good stuff from Generation 2. I hope that it ends up being as cool as I think it will be, and everybody will give it a chance again. Because I think this thing's going to go in waves. I think Pokemon Go is going to die off, and then it's going to come back with each generation or each new update. Which is kind of what it was doing, but even more now that there's new Pokemon. So yeah, guys, I had to make this video. I actually planned to do something with my favorite game series, but I'm going to push that back till next week. So that'll come out then. And I pushed back the episode from today to tomorrow because this announcement came out today. So it's been crazy. I've been rushing. All the information I had was what I got in the time. If there's anything that you guys know that I didn't cover, leave it down in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. I'd love to know. And I'm sure the people in the Wolfpack would want to know too. And yeah, I think that's it. What do you guys think about this update? Do you think it's worth going back to like playing again? Or do you think it's just kind of like, well, there's new Pokemon? You know, what is your opinion on it? So let me know in the comments, and that's it for today. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe for more. If you have any suggestions for the show, use the hashtag WPW down in the comments or on Twitter, and your ideas might get featured on the show. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Love you, Wolfpack. And go check out that video. I seriously called this. They're making all the evolutions come in with Generation 2, which is super awesome because Scizor is coming.